Yo, what's up? Yeah, thanks, Neil. Look, we could have easily done HPQ as our long today. We were long 38, then we were long 40. That thing went to 41.50. But what I chose here to beat up on was Rite Aid today. And look, Deutsche Bank came, and this is what we talk about every time, every day on the trade of the day. It's you got to look at the sticky note. You got to look at the watch list that we have, watchlist.TraderTV.Live. Rite Aid today with Deutsche Bank comes out, and they basically squash the business. It's quite simple what they said. It was just that a fading pharma segment, Rite Aid closing stores, not reopening them, and now you sort of have the pandemic behind us. So what does that mean now for Rite Aid? Like, can they continue even operations if they're not making money when, you know, pharmacies were a pretty hot place to go to in the last 2 years? What's that going to mean moving forward? But again, we kind of pick on the weak here because look at Rite Aid. It was already on its way down. And I kind of felt like this morning that Deutsche Bank was kind of like picking their poison here because we already broke this $8 yesterday and we were hovering here around 9. And as you can see, I have the yesterday's up. So maybe I'll switch over to this side and give you guys a quick little look. Yesterday's close around that 850. Down comes the report. And then here in the pre-market, it was pretty simple for me. I saw the note and I was like, you know what? I want the short in Rite Aid. And I was like, if I'm going to be wrong, it's going to have to, I don't know what it's going to have to do. You don't get, you know, a bank or an investment bank coming out and downgrading a stock and saying that they feel they're going to cease to exist. They actually slapped a $1 price target on this thing. So I'm just going to roll with them and feel like there might be a mass exodus out of position, even just due to the daily chart. Here it comes in. We sit down, man, 820, our first trade. Look at this range that it's in. I'm like, that doesn't seem, it was only down like 13%, 12%, something like that. So we take it first, we take it again, and then all of a sudden in the morning, when the market opens up, it actually pops up. And I'm holding this thing against me like, I don't know what it was. We were short at 685, let's call it that. And it popped to about 705. And I was like, this doesn't make much sense here. Let's go short again. And the worst case scenario would be maybe we had that top wick there. And I felt like if we got up into the mid sevens, then maybe we would tap out and then reload the short if the trend started going our way. But fortunately for us, we almost have the top here. That's like a 705 that we wind up getting short. And then it happens. And there it goes down to the downside, including our last tick out there at 630. Again, we're short at 7, so we take about 10% on that one move alone here. Out. The problem is, because it went up and kind of hovered around here and didn't really start moving till about 950, we tried to respect this bottom a little bit. Because remember, at this point, we have about 20, 30 cents in the money. So when it comes back down in, we just start taking them out. Then the collapse happens, and then we start getting some out at 50. I'll do that every time. 650 right here, you draw that line, we started to get some out. There was some bouncing action, so we weren't sure if we had this or not, and then it just collapsed all the way down. Obviously, to build out right there would have been a decent long. It takes out the 50 period, and right now it's kind of hovering near the top again, 660. But hey, look, Rite Aid today, downward. Whenever you get a company downgraded like that, and then basically the note in there is like, we think they might have to close, that's not going to be good. We've seen Rite Aid get hit before, and we had a beautiful setup on the daily. I mean, to me, this was actually more important than the downgrade itself. It broke this level, and then we had that monster catalyst. So to me, this was just inevitable to happen. Obviously, it's going to be really hard to pick the bottom, but you see what happens here? Look at the increased volume. It's like you can add up like the last 10 days, that's probably not true, and you'd get today's volume, right? And so that just shows you got to trade the right names, and they have to be hot.